today we could have a verdict in the Chad Daybell murder case. Yesterday, there were closing arguments from the defense and the prosecution. The jury then took the case around 4:31-ish, and they deliberated for 2 hours before calling it a night. They went back to wherever they're staying. They are sequestered. They can't go home. And they plan to be back here in just a few minutes at 8 o'clock. They want to be back in the courthouse deliberating. And who knows how long that could take. We could have a verdict this morning. We could have a verdict in the afternoon or tomorrow or in a few days. You just don't know with these things, obviously. What we do know is that in Lori Vallow's case, the jury took 7 hours to deliberate before coming back with a verdict. Things are a little different here in the fact that Chad Daybell faces a charge of murder for Tammy Daybell, whereas Lori Vallow only faced the charge for conspiracy to commit her murder. So there's an additional murder charge for Chad. Also, this is a death penalty case. Now, during the first portion of deliberations, the jurors will not focus on death penalty. They will focus simply on, is Chad Daybell guilty or not guilty on the 7 charges that he faces? If he is guilty on those first-degree murder charges, and they do believe that there are aggravating factors, then we will go into the penalty phase, where the jury will then decide if Chad Daybell gets life in prison or death. And as part of that penalty phase, more witnesses will be called. Family members will be called. In fact, I know that late last night, several of Tammy Daybell's extended family members arrived into town. We're expected to see them maybe later today, especially if we get a verdict. Other family members, Kay and Larry Woodcock, they could present with victim impact statements, and we will hear likely on the defense side from Chad Daybell's children, who could come up and present. Not only are they victims, they're victims because their mother died of murder, allegedly, but also because their dad is on trial, and they could go on and say, please give him life in prison, don't give him the death penalty. So that phase could be quite interesting. That could last a day, it could last several days. We just don't know how long that will last. So